So, this is going to be a fun topic.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about people that are not normal,
Like us.
like us, and some things from our perspective of ourselves that we find not normal.
Okay. What do we find not normal about ourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll start it off, and then we can like play on how we feel about it, or maybe we
Yeah.
do the same. I do not like hair on arms.
Hair on arms? Like your own hair?
Yes.
Oh, weird.
So for 18 years, I've shaved my arms
Wow.
because
Like once a week.
yeah. Well, not once a week. It's about once every 2 weeks. Sometimes a little longer. But it kind of started.
You got some 5 o'clock shadow in there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. See, this I'm okay with.
How
Like
terrible.
this, you can barely see. Another week, I would be like, it's pushing it. And it's honestly pushing it right now.
Yeah.
It all started out when I was going to the gym, and like the group of guys, like it was like a gym thing.
Yeah.
Like you shaved your arms, but then it like kind of went from the gym to like, okay, it's always going to be done. I can't stand arm hair.
It became a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's probably not normal.
You know, well, there's things that in my life have become a thing because I first started out just by doing it habitually or observing other people doing it habitually. So,
Right.
for example, like my sister used to hate the sound of styrofoam. I would laugh. What do you mean? But then enough years went by of her reacting so strongly to styrofoam that now I have a reaction to styrofoam.
You don't like breaking it?
Just like the squeakiness, the feeling, the touch. Yeah, it irritates me. Like other sounds might irritate you, or feelings might irritate you. You know, like my son has a thing. I think he picked up from me too, which is like the feeling of paper in your fingers. Sometimes it's like he doesn't like it. I've never expressed that to him, but he's picked. I have that same thing, so I kind of get it. I mean, in the gym world, it makes sense. You know, you do it because you want to show off your muscles. You got tattoos too, so you show off your tats.
And that's another thing I go off of now is having tattoos on my arms. And something about like looking at somebody's arms that has tattoos and they let their hair grow back, it like, for one, I'm like, hey, it really messes up the vision of what you have.
The art,
and
yeah.
two, I think it makes it look gross. Like, it makes the arm kind of like look dirty that you have all this hair and then a tattoo underneath of it growing
It does.
out.
I get what you mean.
So I don't-
Yeah.
So that plays into
Do you shave
it
your
too.
armpits?
Yes.
Do you shave your chest?
Yes.
Your back?
Yes.
You shave everything.
Yes. My belly, my chest. Now my back goes a little longer, and I of course can't
Because
get
it's
that.
hard, yeah.
And then I get my wife to do that, like if I'm more during the summer,
I at one point got one of these extendo shavers for your back.
right? How does that work?
It was all right. I got it when I was maybe 20, and I've since like thrown it out or lost it. But I remember it being helpful. Yeah, you could get your whole back yourself.
I think the only thing with my back is like the part like right below your neck
Yeah.
that eventually like grows so much that it starts coming out
Yeah,
of
you
your
get
shirt.
it tuft out of your shirt.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm hairy from toe to stem. You know what I mean? Like I'm all the way, my whole back, everything. I mean,
You're
my
like
chest hair, everything.
you're like a little gorilla.
I'm a gorilla. Yeah, my dad used to call himself a silverback. Yeah, I'm just a hairy guy. If I had to shave all this, oh boy, that would be so much upkeep.
I think that's the part that, like, I mean, I'm a pretty hairy guy too, but ever since I've done it once, then you don't notice it. Like, if I went like maybe 3 months without shaving anything, I'd be like a little gorilla
You'd
too.
be a beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
no, that is a little bit. I mean, grooming. You know, everyone's got their own grooming things, and they want their hair a certain way, or their, you know. My nephew's real obsessed with cologne. You know, it's like he's always got to have cologne smelling right. You know, everyone's got that thing.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, I like, whether it's a guy or a girl, if I go out in public, if I go in like say something like the metro or a bus or any kind of transportation that I'm taking
Yeah.
with anybody else, it's nice to smell like good people around you.
Yeah, you don't want a bunch of BO, right? I get that.
An example of that is when we go to Disney, we always take a bus from the resort
Yeah. Into the
over,
park.
and it's so funny in the mornings when you get on the bus. Now, I've seen it two ways, experienced it two ways. I've gotten on the bus where nobody, like first thing in the morning, where nobody's really on there, we get on, and you can smell the odor of the people from the previous night that came back.
Gross.
And then I've got on the bus where it's early in the morning and there's more people on it. Everybody's hair's smelling fresh, cologne,
Yeah.
perfumes. But I can tell you, like, when you come back from Disney, from
You
the
stink.
parks later in the day, it is just like a BO, sweaty,
Ugh.
booty hole stinking,
Ugh.
like everything.
Ugh.
So,
Butt and all.
I mean, it wears off during the day. You're sweating all day, you're
Yeah.
going around in 80 and 90 degree weather.
Yeah, pass.
But yeah, I like a good cologne. I put cologne on every day. Do you?
I don't wear cologne at all.
None?
I have like a natural, like I don't really stink. I mean, if
Well, I hope I don't
if I
stink.
do Disney or like I'm outside for a long time, like I can get BO. But normal everyday, like I don't use deodorant either.
Oh.
And my armpits don't smell.
Interesting.
I notice when I use deodorant, like occasionally I'll put some on, then I have to do it because my armpits smell more.
Right.
But like end of the night, if I shower in the morning, end of the night when I lay down, my armpits don't stink.
I mean, sometimes I feel like deodorant makes me more wet and sweaty.
That's what happens, yeah. And like for some reason, just perpetuates itself. And I think cologne probably doesn't do that. But my dad wore really strong colognes, and so that's kind of what I know when it comes to cologne. My tendency would be to pick a strong cologne, but I don't even like that.
Mm.
Like I don't want to smell super strong.
I mean, that's something
You know,
different.
and I don't like the fresh light scents like CK and stuff like that.
Right.
Because they just don't feel like cologne. It feels more like perfume to me, and I just don't like it. It's just not my cup of tea. So like I would go for like a strong, smoky or acidic like smelling cologne, but I don't even want to smell that strong.
Like, if I look at you and you used a cologne, I would see something like oldie looking and like
Yeah.
a brownish looking bottle.
Oh, it would be
It's like-
super old school.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff I would pick. I mean, there was a while I wore a Versace cologne that I got. I really like that one, but it's like Medusa or something like that. But like, I don't. Yeah, I just don't do it anymore. Also, my wife doesn't like using anything that's like scented. Like she's real particular about scented items because of like they're endocrine disruptors or something. I don't know. So,
Yeah, and everybody has their own thing. I always, even though I like cologne and I like the smell of cologne and perfume, it's always made me sneeze. So like I remember
when you put on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I get in the wrong spot and then it hits me in the nose, like it'll make
Yeah.
me sneeze 10, 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
When we used to go to the mall, I don't know if malls still exist. But,
Yeah, Tyson.
you know, when Tyson's Corner, like that's an example. We used to go to New York City. So when I'm going through somewhere like Macy's and they're standing
Yeah.
out there and they're like spraying, I would just go through and just start sneezing and
Same.
sneezing.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that stuff. But I mean, I have my own grooming things. I'm sure other people would find weird, but I don't shave my arms, so that is a weird one.
You know,
I mean, like, it makes sense for you. I think the tattoos and the working out, like, it makes sense.
I mean, it is a job.
If I showed up with my arms shaved, I think I would look like a freak.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't have tattoos or big muscles to show off. It's just my skin.
Yeah, but my arms, like if I let my arms are probably hairy as yours or more hairy. So it's so weird.
It's nice. It's soft. It's a nice layer for the winter.
Yeah, that's
Keeps you
true.
warm.
I mean, so that's one thing I probably like.
It's like I wear an extra wool shirt too.
I mean, there's girls that have more hairy arms
Sure.
that don't even shave, and I'm
Yeah.
a guy and I'm
Yeah.
shaving my hairy arms. So,
Yeah.
but speaking of deodorant, I use girls deodorant. That's
do?
the best deodorant I've ever found. Is Dove. I use Dove girls deodorant.
Wow.
I hate the blue Old Spice.
Oh yeah.
It makes me feel like so
It's
slippery.
I don't like any of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
I feel like a lot of men's products are just overly smelly,
Right.
and I think a lot of times like they're full of dyes and random shit. It just feels like you're literally just pouring chemicals on your body.
That's true. We're just going by the part that says, "Oh, it helps."
For men, and it's
Yes, it
a
helps
little
you
black.
not do this or not do that, but you don't look what's put into it future-wise.
It just doesn't feel good to me. You know, like I mean, like Axe body washes or any of that stuff. Like I just use a bar soap.
Oh, is that what you use?
Just bar soap.
Oh.
What are you? Are you a body wash?
Yeah. I mean, I like something that smells good.
Yeah, I go for Sasquatch. You ever heard of these guys?
Mm.
They
Oh,
do-
yeah.
They do
Mhm.
they do ads online and stuff, but it's like it just good smelly soaps for men. So it'd be like, you know, there'll be like a mint one. There's like regular ones, and then there's some that are a little more cologne-y, but they're like allspice and stuff. They're like natural-ish products, but it's just bar soap,
Well, do you know who Charles Barkley is?
of course.
Okay, so he said recently, like he's a big guy,
Yeah, he is.
and he said that he travels a lot and goes to hotel rooms, and that he started bringing his own soap, bar soap, because being a big guy, there was a time he almost lost the soap. He's like, so I did that one time, and he's like, now I bring my own big bar of soap.
Yeah. So don't lose it between the
booty cheeks.
booty
I guess.
cheeks. Yeah.
Well, I've never thought about that either. I guess I mean, if I'm using a bar of soap, I'm rubbing the bar of soap on a washcloth
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
wiping on my body.
Yeah.
Since you're a bar soap user, do you like put it on your body or do you put it on a cloth first?
Cloth or just hands? Like, you know, I'm not putting the bar in my ass cheeks.
Mm.
I feel like that's something different.
Yeah, so that could be something.
But also,
abnormal
I don't
somebody
share
does.
my soap.
Well, they say you shouldn't share like things like
Yeah.
that
I
because
don't share my soap.
yeah,
Yeah, that's my bar soap.
like shaving things like
Razors?
Yeah,
Do you
like-
change your razor every time?
no, not every time. Probably I go a few weeks.
A few weeks?
Yeah, I mean I've heard.
How often do you shave? Your face?
I shave my face once a week,
Mhm.
but I use the same shave as I shave my arms, like
What about your pubes?
all within
Do you do pubes to face?
yeah, always. I mean, a razor's a razor to me. It's my
hair's
razor.
hair, right?
But like if we went somewhere and we only have one razor, both of us need our face shaved. Like apparently we're not supposed to use.
I
the
would
same
never
razor.
shave you with your razor.
You wouldn't if you were put in the situation.
Never.
What? Just your face?
Never.
I guess if I was put in a predicament, I need my face shaved.
Well, here's another thing. When you use a razor, you're cutting your face, whether you see blood or not. Like there's microscopic cuts. I don't know what you got, bro, but I'm not trying to get it.
I guess you could shave first, and I'll be like, just give me your razor.
I have a straight razor, and I bought a box of razors probably 7 years ago. It was like 150 razors or something.
Wait, you use a straight blade?
Straight blade, yeah. And I still have the same box because one, I don't shave very often, as you
Right.
can tell. But also, when I shave too, it's like only small parts. Like I'm shaving my neckline and my
Yeah,
cheeks.
that's how.
Like, that's
I mean,
basically it.
here and then here.
Yeah, cheeks up to the eyes. But then they stay sharper so much longer. The shit that you do with like a Gillette razor with the 5-blade bullshit, like,
Right.
It's like they feel dull after the first shave.
Because you got to go off the color, like if it's yellow and it
They're
starts
garbage,
fading
bro.
off.
They're fucking garbage. Just get a straight razor. Be a man.
What if I cut my jugular?
You won't.
Do you have to like learn how to use it?
Barely.
Hmm.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'll try that.
there's what they call safety razor,
Right.
which is the ones that have like a rounded half circle top, and the blade sits underneath that half circle. So like you can, if you're supposed to, it basically makes so you can only cut from the right angle. If you get it at the wrong angle, in a point where you normally would slice your face, you're just getting metal. You're not getting the blade. So it protects you.
I'll
You
have to
really,
we're
the
gonna try
only thing
that.
you could do that would cut you is if you moved like this, like horizontal. Like, and then you would do that if you had your Gillette razor or something
Right.
went like this, you'd cut yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like, as long as you're doing strokes like you normally do, you'd be alright. It lasts a lot longer.
Would you use your wife's toothbrush if you were out
Fuck no.
somewhere?
Mm-mm.
No.
0 times.
I've accidentally.
I've used my
done
finger
it.
instead.
I've done that.
I'll put toothpaste or just water on my finger and all right, that's the best I'm gonna get. Although, you know what I do every time I go to a hotel? I don't ever pack my toothbrush.
You don't?
No, because I call down at every hotel and I ask for a toothbrush kit, and they bring one up for free. And you know why I do that? Because I hate traveling
With
with
a
my fucking toothbrush.
It is a
It
pain.
makes you gotta have a Ziploc and shit's wet, and and then it's all gross, and who knows if the house cleaner touched your fucking toothbrush with their shit hands. Like, I don't want any of that.
That's a good idea.
I just
I guess
get a
I,
free one.
yeah, I never thought about that you could just call down because I'm
Call down.
always just like.
They always have
looking for it.
shaving kits and toothbrush kits.
Interesting.
You just call down, they got one.
Some places you go, they're probably like, yeah, we'll put $29.99 on your bill.
It might cost you $1, but I mean, I'm normally it's just like whatever you're tipping the guy bringing it up.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, toothbrushes, it's kind of disgusting to travel with.
Oh yeah, we thought my mom got us all these like pods that go over the toothbrush head. They're supposed to like
Yeah,
clean.
that's what I use right now. Like
They actually make it worse. They create a habitat for bacteria.
I mean, just from that time, say you're flying somewhere, you're driving somewhere for 8 hours, and
It might be
you put
fine
it
in a
in
short
there,
period of time. Yeah,
but it's going to eventually build up.
it's just building up. Yeah.
Unless you use a different one every time.
Also, did you know when you flush your toilet, there's like a 6-foot zone?
Oh, that stuff splashes up on
Stuff
it.
splashes.
I love that. I love brushing my teeth with people.
6 feet, bro.
I mean,
You got flush with the lid down. That's the key.
oh,
Lid down flush. That's
Yeah.
why there's a lid.
you don't flush and put your toothbrush over top of it.
I rinse in the bowl. Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking about is this is really weird, and I've thought about it a lot that I find not so normal. I'm not a crier. I can't cry.
You can't cry.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe once in the
If I
last.
twist your nipple, you won't cry?
No. I mean, maybe. I would say like once in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
maybe I have. I think that's bad for me though.
Are you just broken?
Maybe.
Did your dad tell you not to cry when you were a kid?
That could be it.
That was it.
I mean, I tell my daughter not to cry sometimes. I'm like,
Do
there's
you
a
hit her
time.
when you say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a time to cry and there's a time not to cry.
No, I mean, we teach my son too, because he'll sometimes cry about shit like losing a game, and I'm like, this is not a time you can cry.
Right.
You're not allowed to cry about that.
Right.
But like, yeah, I mean, if your feelings are hurt, fine. But yeah, I grew up that way though. My dad always said like, stop your fucking crying.
Right.
I can still hear it. But like, so I think as an adult, I've probably cried a handful of times, and you know, none of them have really been about pain.
Mhm.
So they've always been about emotional stuff more than physical. And it's rare, but it's happened. And you know, partially I think it's happened more since I've had kids. Like I've gotten softer.
Yeah.
Like
And
even
that's
now,
what I'm starting to
sometimes-
notice.
Have you ever noticed like going to a movie or watching a movie and something happens and it catches
Oh
you
my
off guard?
gosh.
And you're like, oh.
Yes, like with anything that involves like a kid in a movie. You know?
Kid getting hurt, or
Yeah, it's
the
terrible.
kid's dad dies or something. I'm like, oh shit.
Yep. And that's the part where I wish I wasn't abnormal in that area. Like I feel like sometimes if the emotion comes like to feel like crying or I'm
Yeah.
put in a spot, it instead of crying I let it turn to anger.
No, fuck that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think it's good to cry, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's good to feel however you're feeling. It's never good to try to change how you're feeling by ignoring how you're feeling.
Right.
Like if you're angry, be angry. Don't try to not be angry because you're gonna only get more angry sometime else.
I'll say that one of the things that brought out the most emotions in me is the gambling.
Mm.
Like, if I'm laying in bed at night and I just lost my ass,
Be a dick.
like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, I could just, like, put down my phone and just start crying. Like, why
Yeah.
did I let myself do this?
Yeah.
But I let it turn into more of an anger thing.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, when I was gambling, it was my wife knew because I was a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly.
I'd give her lip about doing stuff around the house or whatever, you know.
Emotions.
It just comes out sideways.
But then when I win, I'm like running around downstairs, like telling my wife, "Hey, I just won $5,000. High five me."
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I'm like, "Hey, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
I just lost that $5,000
I lost 5 and another.
and
Yeah.
another like 2,000 or 3,000.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit. I
Yeah.
know I am.
Yeah.
Like, so the emotions are there.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not like I don't have emotions. It's not. I'm not letting them express themselves. And I think that's really,
Yeah.
really a bad thing.
Of course you have emotions. Of course you feel like crying sometimes, because everybody does.
Right.
Yeah, you're just telling yourself not to.
And sometimes I feel like if I'm in a situation, like I've been to funerals and things, and I've been around weird incidents, and I feel like there's other people that should be crying more. Like, don't let yourself be that person to let others. This isn't your time to be seen as crying.
I think that's you know. I guess I was taught that too, specifically about funerals. Like, don't overdo it.
Right.
And then be taking attention in a situation where it shouldn't be on you. Yeah.
And I've been to like funerals where people are trying to be strong that are actually involved in it. And I feel like if somebody else randomly comes that but they're not
An
really
auxiliary
close to the
person
family,
who's
and
bawling.
they're like bawling, and you're
Like, the fuck?
like
Yeah, dude, I get that.
that can control a situation. So like, I guess I think about it too much. Like, when is the right time? Could I cry right now? Do I feel this way? But is it the right situation?
Right
the
now, no.
timing?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There's no crying on the show. Although you might get a lot of views. Maybe.
That's true.
My first cry in 8 years.
In a public setting, I've never cried in a public setting. Maybe
Since you were a child, maybe?
since a child.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think having a spouse and having kids has given me the opportunity to feel more of my emotions. And,
Right.
and there's it's a safe place at home. If I were to cry, I know that my wife wouldn't go tell her friends my husband's a little bitch. Now I'm not crying every day. I think that would be different, but yeah, I mean, well, I hope you find an opportunity to cry, Josh.
A success in crying.
I hope you break through and cry on your wife's shoulders tonight.
Maybe I should go to like a public event and just let it all out in front of thousands of people. Like, maybe I should go to a football game
Just
and just start crying.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe not. It's probably a bad idea.
Then I would have like 500 people being like, "He's a little bitch." Why is he crying?"
and the whole town's like, "You hear about that Josh guy?"
Like, go to a Commanders game and
Yeah.
lose, and at the end just sit there and pout and start crying. People say, "This is my first time crying in public. I haven't cried in 8 years. Leave me the fuck alone."
This is my one time.
So now, this one is really going to throw you off.
Okay.
It's probably going to throw the viewers off. Okay?
Yeah, you don't wipe.
No, I might. I wish I didn't have to. Honestly, I feel like that takes out a lot of part of my
Do you or
day.
do you not want a bidet?
No.
No bidet?
No, I don't want something shooting up my rear end. That make
I mean,
it all
it'd be
wet.
squeaky clean.
How would it be squeaky clean? It makes it like muddy.
Squeaky.
If you have mud on your shoes and you spray the hose, yes, it comes off,
Then there's no
but
more
it gets wet and muddy too.
And then you dry your ass.
Have you used a bidet?
I've used them overseas. I do not own one, but I wish I did.
You think it works?
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
It is cleaner than toilet paper. And if you
Interesting.
do dry. You do have little towelettes that you dry your ass with.
what do you do with those afterwards?
Throw them in the trash. But
Oh.
they're clean. Just water. Water cleans your asshole. You got a squeaky clean butt. You dry it off. Throw it away.
So you are all for a bidet.
I should get one. I'm basically a bidet salesperson.
I gotta try it.
We should get our first sponsor, a bidet company. Anyways, tell me about the weirdest thing that's going to throw everybody off.
Oh, okay.
That's not
Back-
weird. Poopy bums.
We went from that to poopy butts. I feel like a kid though. Like, everything goes to poopy. Like, it's
Yeah.
poopy's just so.
I mean, with children too, it's just there's poop
it
all the time.
happens. I mean, poopy's fun until you're like whatever. Yeah, I don't care. I'm immature. I find the word poopy fun. Okay, so we got a new dog, and we've had him for about 3 months now. He's 10 months old.
Mm-hmm.
He is, let's see, he's part Aussie, part Doodle, and part Burmese Mountain Dog or something.
Yeah.
So he's really fluffy like a teddy bear. He has one thing I've always wanted in a dog: a brown nose. And I mean, he has this big, fuzzy head. He looks like a teddy bear. He's got these real looking eyes, and his nose is just like this button brown nose. And for some reason, he licks me a lot. He loves to lick. Sometimes I try to nibble his nose. And my wife knows this. I mean, it's not nonstop. I'm not just sitting there gnawing on my dog's nose. But if he comes up and he's like licking me, and I'm like, "Oh, look at your little nose," like, and my wife's like, "That's not normal."
That is not normal, no. Although I will say this. Have you ever heard of cuteness aggression?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's this idea like so people pinch cheeks.
Right.
Like, oh, she's so cute. It makes you want to like pinch or bite or squeeze. And so there is this connection between thinking something's cute to like maybe you want to chew it. But a dog's nose, I've never thought that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I would say that's my
That's
lately.
probably
That's
top
my
weird.
new one I picked up. That's not normal.
That's probably top weird, yeah. You know your dog licks its butthole.
Yeah, well, he licks his pee too a lot.
Yeah.
Like we'll sit there and
I'm definitely never sharing your toothbrush either. That's it, dog.
I mean, we've been through a few dogs.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she sits there and I'll be like playing on my phone and she'd be like, "Bagel, stop licking your hoo-hoo." And then the next thing I see, he's like over there and she's like, "Oh my gosh," and he's like licking her face. She's like, "Dad, his tongue went in my mouth." I'm like, yeah, after he just licked his hoo-hoo, you told him to stop. Like, why don't we get sick from that? Like, I can't tell you how many times, like...
Oh, you know, it's because most of the things that we're worried about when it comes to germs, that stuff's we're already exposed to those sort of germs all the time everywhere.
Right.
Like, this table's just as dirty as probably most things in your kitchen or your toilet.
But I'm not licking the table.
Yeah, but you're touching it and then you touch your eyes or you rub your mouth or you rub your beard or you...
Like, my dog literally sits there, licks its wiener, and then 10 minutes later, he comes
Basically,
up and
what I'm
he's
saying
licking my
is there's
face.
wiener germs everywhere. Yeah. There's already wiener germs. We're already exposed to those wiener germs.
I already
Yeah.
have wiener germs in my mouth.
You always got wiener in your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't find it disgusting. I'm like, it's a dog. Aren't dogs supposed to lick themselves and then they give you kisses? Like, that's normal. That's not normal.
I don't ever let my dog kiss me.
You don't?
No.
My wife doesn't let her dog kiss her.
It's gross.
You think so?
Well, Polly's breath is rank. Polly's got like tooth decay breath.
I mean, that's how Mickey, he's our miniature, oh my gosh. Isn't it terrible? I forgot what my dog is.
He's a dog.
It's
Nobody
a,
gives a
it's
fuck.
a miniature dog. And he's Pomeranian. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Pomeranian.
Yeah.
And he's 13. His breath smells like ass.
That's
but I
what-
feel like when he wants to kiss me, I'm like, okay.
You let him?
Yeah, because I feel like that's their way of showing
If
you
when
love.
you were meeting your wife for the first time, she had breath like your dog,
No.
would you kiss her?
It's different with a human.
Yeah. No, it ain't.
You don't think?
No.
Like, I feel like dogs are supposed to have bad breath.
Well, yeah, but you ain't supposed to lick them.
Let me tell you a story about this. And my wife knows, this was back in the day. This is when I was single. This is a terrible story that goes along with bad breath. So I was out.
Oh boy.
Where was I out? I want to say I was out like at the fair or something. And you know, when you're younger, we were like drinking beforehand and
Pre-gaming.
right. So we went to like, I believe it was the fair, and there was a girl there that like we were hanging out as a group, and I always found her, you know, kind of attractive.
Yeah.
And afterwards, we were all sitting like, I want to say we were waiting to get picked up or something, and we were all sitting on a curb. Well, we were talking, and we kind of both at the same time leaned over to give each other a kiss. And when we did, she threw up on me, like partially in my mouth and on the
No
ground.
way.
Yeah. So I mean that.
Oh my god. I would never want to see that person.
And I remember not being like totally grossed out. It was like, oh, I still got to kiss her a little bit.
And then
like,
went in for a second?
Yeah, no, I didn't go for a second. But I think that's the most gross thing that's ever happened to me.
That's very gross.
Like, how do you not know? Like, if you're about to kiss somebody and you don't, and vomit
That's
just
really
comes
gross.
out.
No, that's.
I've thrown up on people.
I've never thrown up on anybody.
You haven't? I've thrown up on fair rides on people. I threw up on one of my good friends. I was coming home from golf at one time. I used to throw up in the car a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like we were literally pulling on the road to pull into our house, and I threw up on my friend in the back seat. So I've thrown up a couple times on people.
My most embarrassing throw up was I went to New York City with a client, and this was a client I was kind of close to. We were cool. He invited me on this trip, and we were just basically going there to go to this conference for his business, but also, network and mingle. And him and I were just gonna hang, like, so it was kind of a mix of all those things. And we went to some really swanky place, and they did a tour around their like old mansion in the Upper East End or whatever. I don't fucking know. And we had cocktails and drinks, and also because it's legal in New York, I took a few tokes, and it was like a mixed bag of everything, right? And probably drank more than I normally would have, all this stuff. And then we do a limo ride home. He was like, "You want to stay the night?" And we were like, "Let's just go home." We had a limo. He was like, "I'll have my driver drive us home, and we could just like chill or sleep in the car." I was like, "All right, that's fine. I'd rather be home." But then that was a mistake, bro. So in the limo with my client,
In the limo.
I just vomited everywhere, and and I was like, it was just like immediate. It just came out, and it was just on my shoes, like on my pants, like right on myself. I was fucked.
Was it in the limo?
In the limo. He was like, "You didn't feel that coming?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm sorry." But I very rarely vomit. I think from drinking alone, I've only vomited one other time, and that was when I turned 21. We tried to do 21 shots.
Oh,
That
well,
was a
I mean
mistake.
that might make you.
I think I got to like 10, and they were like gross, ridiculous shots, like the brain shot, and it's like
mixing stuff with
mixing garbage, and it didn't make it very far. Puked all over my buddy's Oriental rug, his mom's Oriental rug. I don't think she knows to this day. We just cleaned it out with a lot of water. All right. But yeah, that's probably my most embarrassing pukes. But going back to the original piece, is like things that are different or weird about us. Have you noticed anything about me that's weird like that? Because I didn't come pre-prepared for this conversation, so now I'm not sure. It's hard to reflect in that way. I'm not sure what weird. I definitely don't bite my dog's nose.
No. I mean, I don't. There's nothing that really pops off to me that I like. Oh man, Sean's
That's a weird thing.
guy.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you in anything but jeans.
I wear khakis and jeans basically
Right.
exclusively. Yeah. I mean, I wear sweats at night. Sweats or like, I wear sweatpants like they're pajamas.
Like me to this podcast, because you really can't see my legs. Usually I wear like sometimes, I think maybe twice I wear jeans, but then I wear like joggers or sweatpants just because I want to be comfortable. I'm not comfortable in jeans as I am other things.
My wife was making fun of me today because I got my Wranglers. Before I came here, my shirt was tucked into my pants just because it was, and I got my Carhartt hat on. She was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Oh, this is a different look for you.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I'm not. It's funny because I only own 2 pairs of jeans, like actual pants.
Oh, really?
Jean pants. The rest of my clothes are, you know, like khaki material or like they're pants, but they're other materials, not jeans.
I mean, I would say one thing is it called envy? Like, I wish I could be, like, one thing about you is, like, you really don't, like, you'll wear whatever. Like, if you have two pairs of jeans, you're good with 2 pairs of jeans. If you have 5 shirts, you're good with 5 shirts.
Whatever I got.
Oh, to me, like, I feel like I gotta have 50 shirts.
You know, I analyzed this because your wife told my wife that she only wears an outfit to go to work one time.
Right.
One time only.
Yeah.
And so my analysis was that you and her have this thing because you work in a school and you're judged by children all the time. They would give you hell if you didn't look good or wear the right things or be up to date, or if you wore the same outfit more than once. I think the kids would give you hell.
I mean, that's a good point because we have 2 resource officers that work in the school I work at, and those guys wear the same thing every day. They wear the same like pants. They wear the same collar shirt. Sometimes now with the cold, they wear a vest. But there's lots of jobs out there where you wear uniforms and you wear the same thing.
Yeah.
So a job like mine is, if I wear something, I try not to wear it again for maybe 2 or 3 weeks where nobody notices, hey, he just wore that. Where I wish I kind of worked in an environment where every day I showed up and this is what you wore to work, like cops. Cops wear the same thing every day.
I've shown up to work in the same t-shirt twice in a row.
Like,
I've worn the same hoodie for like a week in front of my computer talking to customers.
Hoodies might be a little different.
It's like a jacket.
It is like a jacket.
You don't wash it every time.
That's true.
If you wash your hoodie every time, say goodbye to that hoodie after like a week.
How many times do you wear your jeans without washing them?
Maybe twice.
Washing.
Twice.
Yeah, I'm about 2 or 3 times.
I mean, jeans. Also depends. Like, a lot of times I'll wear clothes for like half a day. And so in that case, it doesn't really count. You know, or if I'm doing something and they get dirty, of course I'm gonna wash them. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just don't give a fuck about my clothes too much at all.
And that's a good thing, honestly.
I literally put on what is ever in the top of the drawer at that moment.
Right.
I have a drawer with all my shirts. Whatever shirt's on top is what I put on.
So you don't.
I don't think about it at all.
That is why.
I also wear mismatched socks.
Oh yeah, that is different about you.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear mismatched
My
socks.
I try to keep the same length or feeling.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna wear one fucking, you know, ankle sock and one up to my knees. But, you know, if they're both relatively the same feeling, they just have a different pattern, fuck.
I mean, while I'm sitting here, one thing I noticed about you that's probably not normal is the size of your wallet.
The size of my wallet?
like, do you keep a dead body in there?
I got lots of cards, bro. My dad's wallet was a portfolio style. It was like this wide,
right?
And it was literally like this thick. And I would always say, Dad, how do you sit on that? And yeah, I see I'm getting there.
I mean, if you went on a long trip on that, your sciatic nerve within like first 2 hours of the trip.
If I sit on this in the car for too long, my ass cheek goes numb.
You know, I always have to take my wallet out on a long trip.
Same. I mean, here's the problem. I got work cards and personal cards, then identification cards. And then I also, because I'm like a 90-year-old man, I carry cash.
See, I don't carry cash.
But even if I didn't carry cash, like, okay, from the team, but like, it's not that much different. It's a little bit.
It's a little smaller.
It's a little
but yeah,
bit,
there's
but
still a
it's
lot
just-
of cards in there.
It's all the cards, bro. It's all the fucking. I mean, for work, I got several cards, and I mean, you're not a credit card guy, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I have a few credit cards.
Yeah, so I got a decent amount of credit cards.
So-
I got different bank cards. You know,
I used to think credit cards were bad, right?
a lot
But
of people think that.
they're not.
As long as you pay them.
Yeah, as long as you pay them. Like, it's free money when you need something. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you're paying them is free money.
I pay my cards twice a month most of the time, but at minimum, I'm paying once a month, 100% of it. So I don't think I can remember the last time I've gotten an interest charge.
Yeah, I've never got an interest charge. I always try to pay them off. One thing I learned with a credit card is, so I have Commanders season tickets. Oh God,
You were telling me about
this is going to take me all. I wanted this to come out anyways. Okay, so all right, we've had Redskin. I'm not a big fan of calling them Commanders because I always knew them as the Redskins. So
Yeah, right.
we've had Redskins season tickets. They've been in my wife's family for over 50 years.
Right.
Luckily and fortunate when we got married 10 years ago, her cousin put them in my name. So like he was like.
So even if you guys get divorced, those are your tickets.
I doubt that would go that way. I probably wouldn't fight it. I'd be like, never mind. But nobody really wants to like take over the payment, and that's why I'm getting that. So when I took them over,
I see.
they are on. They're very good tickets. They are on about the 35-40 yard line. They're 3 rows up.
Wow.
Like I say, they've been in the family over 50 years. I took them over 10 years ago for 2 tickets and parking. When I took them over, they were $3,800. Okay,
It's
so
every home game.
this is every home game and
Yeah, you
preseason
get the
game.
whole. Okay.
So that's eight home games, and that includes your parking. So $3,800 honestly isn't that bad. Well, last year they told us they were going to up them $500. So I was like, damn, $500? Like, okay, whatever. I'm going to complain a little bit, but I'm just going to be forced to do it. So that took me to about, I think, $4,200, somewhere in that range. So I get my bill in, and they already want me to pay it. The season's not even over, and
They want you to pay for next year already.
they want me to pay for next year. So I finally sat down and I'm like, all right, what I do is I open up a credit card that is 12, 18, 20 months interest free.
Nice.
Because that way I know I'm going to get some of the money back. If friends, family want to go, they pay me
Pay
for
for the
them.
tickets, yeah.
And I don't want to take that chunk out just in case there's an emergency. Like,
Right.
it's not my money. It's just sitting there to be paid back.
Right.
So I look at my fucking bill, $5,100 this year.
What did they do that for? Why?
So I call my ticket rep and I say, hey, last year when you raised us, not you personally, but when they raised us $500, I called you and I have him on speakerphone and my wife's sitting there. Because if I have him on speakerphone and my wife's sitting there, I won't say things that I shouldn't say.
It keeps you accountable, huh?
And I said, last year when it went up $500 and I called, you said, hey, we haven't done a ticket raise in over 10 years. It's time that we do it with, I guess economy, things around.
Sure.
I was like, all right, whatever,
That's fair.
$500, that's fair, you're right, we haven't done it. So this year I get it, it's $1,000 more raise. And when I call him, the best thing he could tell me was, we have new ownership and the team is heading in a right direction. And we are trying to do everything that we can to make us have a better organization and team. And I said, am I the fucking owner now?
Yeah.
Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? You just told me I'm trying to pay for a better
It's now
team?
your responsibility to pay for the team, yeah.
We're not talking 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. We're talking a grand
Yeah.
higher
For 8 games.
for 8 games. So it comes out to now $640 a game
Per
for
seat.
2 tickets and parking.
Okay, for the 2. So, but still, I mean, yeah, I guess it would be expensive to get a third row seat if you were to buy it last
Right.
minute or something. But if you just want to go to the game, you can go to the game for $100.
Right. And my thing is, hey, how did you not make like a grandfathered in? Like, if you've had season tickets for 20 years plus, we're not going to touch yours. Anybody from like under 20 and brand new, this is what you're going to pay.
Brand new, yeah.
Like, you're punishing us that have been through hell and when the team's terrible, that are still paying our season tickets, and we're having one
Yeah,
decent year.
you can't let it lapse, right? If you let it lapse, you lose them, right?
Right.
Like those seats get resold to someone else.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
So they've not let them lapse 1 year, even like you're saying, after
No.
every shitty year they've ever had.
Yes, for 50 years, these seats have been paid for every single year.
And they've
no
had
matter what it is.
out of those 50 years, they had 38 shitty years.
And that's the part that gets me the most is you could sit there and tell me the team's heading in the right direction, we need to help, but having these tickets in the family for 50 years, being paid for every year. You just told me we don't give a fuck.
That's ridiculous, bro.
And this is what he told me. He said, "Well, if they're get too expensive for you, we could get you some cheaper seats higher up." Like, that's your response to me as like my ticket rep and everything. Like you're basically going to say, "Sounds like this guy can't afford them now, so fuck you."
Yeah.
And it took me everything on the phone because I know this is like a middle guy. Like, his job is to sell. And all he does during the year is call or email and say, "Hey, you want to bump up to a suite? You want to do this? You want to do that?" It used to be I could call a ticket rep and say, "Hey, can I get some tunnel passes for one game this year?" "Yeah, sure, no problem. We'll get you." "Can I get a signed jersey?" "Yeah, sure." Now, I called this year and said, "Can I get a tunnel pass for this game?" We have a new program starting this year for tunnel passes. It's like where you get to go back where the players come in and out. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, you could get it for every game." And he's like, yeah, you get on this site and sign up for it." So I get on the site, $15,000 a person. It comes with free food and free drinks.
Yeah, better
So-
get free hand jobs at that price.
$15,000 a person for 8 games, and you get to stand in the tunnel.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, everything.
So no more freebies.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
like it's
They're
really,
acting like the Commanders are the best team in the league.
and that's the thing. Like, I'm like, do you realize, like, we played shitty last year, so we didn't have a hard schedule this year. The 5 games that we won, we are going to the playoffs. The 5 games that we won, lost, were against above average teams. So we're not going out there just whipping everybody's ass.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that you raised it $1,000 because, well, our concession stands are nicer now, and we're being
Oh.
able to do things for.
Yeah, but the concessions are still highway robbery, right? Like the beer is
Right.
$15.
Mhm.
So it's not like you're not paying there.
Like, his explanation to me, and I was like, "What I'm about to ask you, it's going on my podcast." My wife was like laughing in the background. I was like, "You don't understand. I have a podcast, and what you,
I have a podcast.
and how you're going to answer me with these questions is going to go."
There is at least 200 people who will.
So, and I'm not going to mention his name. He is a nice guy.
John Smith.
John Smith is a fool when he tried to explain to me why my tickets have gone up 35%.
Did he give you that deal?
Hell no.
Nothing?
No, he told me that he
said,
found me cheaper
Get
seats.
cheaper seats or fuck off?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we appreciate you being with us over 50 years, but if these are too expensive, we'll go ahead and put you up, find cheaper seats for you.
Wow.
So, I mean, I understand he's not in a position probably to do anything.
I'm
but-
sure he has a little wiggle room. If he's a lead in sales and rep, I'm sure he's got a discount code somewhere.
And can you believe he told me? He said, "You know, I find it, you know, you're upset when we're having such a good winning season." I said, I don't give a fuck if we're undefeated. You add $1,000 to my tickets.
Yeah.
I need an explanation of why."
And it's not like it's going to go down if you guys fuck up next year and have
Right.
a terrible season.
Yeah,
They're not
it's
going to charge you less.
It's easy to put things up, but once they go up, good luck ever getting them
They're
back
not
down.
going back down.
No, so I mean, at what point does it come not sustainable for?
What would someone else in your wife's family say if you let him go?
Oh,
They would take him?
I think her one cousin would probably take him back over. He's not even a really big football fan. He had him just to keep him in the family. Because I mean, it's hard to find somebody that's willing to.
Yeah, but what are you going to do with that $5,000? I mean, to reset. I mean, even right now. So you re-upped, right?
Yeah, I really up.
You re-upped. So now this year you got to find people to go to 8 games that are going to pay fucking $600 for you just to break even.
I mean, I don't feel like next year we play some teams that people are going to be willing to spend the money. Like, I mean, people will pay.
I mean, you could scalp them online. Is that what you mean?
I mean,
Resell them online.
I could sell them on like StubHub or something if I can't make it to a game. But most of the time, I have like friends.
And they're willing to pay you like $600-700 to go to the game.
Yeah. Well, it's different when you're not stuck with them. Like, okay, so say Billy over here has tickets and me and you both like that team. It's not a big deal for me and you to say, hey, it's $640 for these games. That's $320 a piece. That covers our parking. Rather than you saying, hey, 640. You want to take your son, or I want to take my daughter? That gets
Fuck
expensive.
that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I guess I would assume if because it's 2 seats that it's probably one person who's going to pay for both. Maybe not. Maybe 2 buddies will go and they'll split it.
That's what you're hoping. Like, I mean, 320 is a lot
Even
better.
that, like when I want to go to, like I know we talked, like I'm not really big into any sports, but I'll go to any game. Like if you wanted to go to a game, I would go to a game, whether it be football, hockey, whatever, anything.
Mhm.
But I'm in the $75, $100 seats.
Right.
Like I'm up high, and then I'm sneaking down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
You're one of those people.
I'm gonna walk my way down a little bit.
Like, I'm at a Redskin game, and I'm sitting in my
Halftime.
seats, and I'm like, the fuck? These guys are, like, sitting. I just saw them sit, like, 20 rows up. Now they're sitting there. Now they're behind
Are
me.
you gonna rat them out?
No.
You are that guy, aren't you?
No, I don't care.
Excuse me.
I don't know them. No, as long as you're not bothering me, I don't give a shit what you do.
I had a buddy. I grew up in Rochester, so Syracuse football was the big thing. College football, basketball. Syracuse basketball was big, and so a lot of my buddies went. And, I never fucking went to games, but apparently one of my buddies was like super big into the team, or his dad was, and had like sponsorship or ownership. I don't fucking know what it was. So we went to a game. He invited like me and all his buddies. I think there was like 15 of us that all went to this playoff basketball game in Syracuse years ago, and we were on the court, and I was like, oh, this is cool, because I've never been to a game where I've been that close, except for hockey. It's like
Right.
hockey, you just walk up to the fucking edge. Nobody goes to hockey games.
No.
But yeah, it was cool to be like right there, but I never experienced that in like a major league like game before. I mean, even baseball. I mean, most of the time when I go to a baseball game, I'm in the nosebleeds.
But, I mean, baseball has so many games, and they play, like, weird times, like, throughout the week.
Yeah.
That if you could go on, like, a Monday or Tuesday, at least it's affordable.
It's
like,
affordable.
You could sit down there for $100 if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just cheap about it because I don't really care about the game too much. I'm there for
Right.
the hot dogs.
Hot dogs and the socialization.
Yeah, getting out of the house.
So back to something that I find, I don't know, this is one of those things where I tend to hate people.
Just in general?
Well, if a person
Like that bitch who cut you off in line?
Yeah, yes. Like, and I know
You hate her
you
still,
shouldn't
don't you?
hate somebody, and hate is a bad thing, but I cannot stand a person that is always a mean person or always has a bad personality. Like, there's nothing. Why should I make myself like you or try to find something small about you to like
You should.
when 95% of you is something I don't like?
I'm with you on this one.
Like, there's some people.
I'm all about hate. Let's just hate more. I think the world needs more hate.
In certain circumstances, yes.
No, you know what it is? Okay, so like, you can dislike or hate someone without retaliating or without being aggressive to them. You could just choose not to be around that person.
Right.
That's the type of hate I'm all about. Like, if I don't like you, I'm not gonna be around you. You're not coming to my house. I'm not going to your house. We're not hanging out together. Our kids aren't hanging out together. Like, see ya.
And I'm going to socialize with you as least possible if we're in the same place.
Exactly. It would only be by accident,
Right.
cordial if I have to be. But yeah, no, dude, fuck all that.
Because I don't like.
I don't want to fake it for somebody.
Yes, that's what I already say. I don't like faking a personality.
No.
Like, I am who I am.
Yeah, if you don't like me, fuck off.
Right. Like, nobody says you have to like me.
I'm
You
fine
can-
with you don't like me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I welcome it. Yeah.
and
One less person I got to deal with.
so, is that a normal thing?
I think it could be antisocial behavior to be like that, probably.
Right.
It's probably not great. It probably, for me, stems from being bullied as a kid and then being super independent and not needing or wanting anybody. And so I was just like, I basically, from 5th grade on, I was like, fuck everybody. And that's the attitude I had in school. I didn't care about anybody. I found other kids who were like, fuck everybody. And those were my fuck everybody kids. So like, you know, we would, you know, that was my little crew. And those are the people I gravitated towards for a long time. The problem is sometimes people like that are super negative.
Right.
So I try to not be super negative in general. I can be myself and be authentic and not like other people who
like they don't stop there.
Yeah. Like
there's other things that they like just
they're just downers about life or
right.
like not excited about anything, apathetic, or people who don't got nothing going on.
I mean, I want people that are nice. People that are nice to be around. I want those people to like me because I want them to feel like I'm a nice person. I'm a fun person to be around. Like I don't necessarily force people to like me. I just hope that my personality comes off to people like, hey, he's a friendly guy, he's a nice guy. And there's some people that are just not like that, and that's the people that I hate. Like, I just know if you're willing to be an asshole to people out and about, that doesn't stop there. I'm going to say 100% at home when people aren't around, how much of an asshole are you to your kids, to your wife or your husband? It can go either way, guy or girl.
Right.
Like everybody gets in arguments with their spouse, and everybody says things that they shouldn't say at times. But I'm not continuously every day just like putting my wife or my kid down just because I'm that type of person. And I feel like
right.
I'm around people that are probably like that. Yeah. Because if I've never seen you one time be friendly or have a fucking normal conversation without being aggressive at home, you probably beat your animals or anything else that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're like that in a public setting, what are you like in private?
What are you doing at home? Yeah, I think also the people who, for me, I feel like the people who seem overly nice, I get an equally weird feeling about. I think people who are trying too hard to impress upon me that they're nice.
Like a fake nice.
Fake nice? Mm-hmm. There's just one family I can think of that come to mind. It's just like every photo that they take together, all of them, including children, have the same overly ridiculous smile. I know it sounds weird. They're all smiling in their photos, but they all have this like forced smile.
Like everything's perfect.
Where if you taped over their mouths, like if you put your hand over their mouth and just looked at their eyes, they look sad. But when you look at their mouths, they're all like this. And I'm like, what is going on in this family? You know?
Do you know why it comes off? And I get what you're saying. I get on social media posts and people that I know or know from the past, and people really try on there at times to make everything if it's day in, day out, your life looks perfect. More than likely your life is not perfect.
Everyone that I know that tried to make their relationships feel super perfect online, mm-hmm. They've terrible relationships. A lot of my buddies who are older, now divorced, were the same guys that were posting every day about how beautiful and amazing their goddess of a wife was.
Right.
And they didn't make it.
Yeah, so. There's a lot of things with social media. I feel like I don't have to get on there and post, and so
I post a couple times a year. Just recently I made a post and I mentioned my wife and how thankful I was for her, and that was truly from the heart. I mean it and meant it, but not something I do all the time.
Right.
And I didn't do it to impress upon everybody else about how great my life is.
It's just at that time how you felt, and that was your way you could express it.
But I think if you saw me posting like that every day, be worried for me, bro.
Right.
Yeah. Something's going on.
We went to Myrtle Beach. I love being here with my wife. She is so gorgeous and looks so beautiful.
Right.
And then a week later, oh my gosh, we went to Red Lobster to eat. Look at my wife sitting across the table at the way she eats her shrimp. There's people like that.
There is.
It's crazy.
Yeah. posting every day about their spouse. And you know, I guess, is it possible it could be true and romantic and whatever? Maybe. You know, do you remember when you first met your spouse, your wife? You went through that period of time like everybody does, where the other person is just the best thing in the world.
Right.
You know, the infatuation that you go through in the very beginning is hard to, it's hard to tone down. You think that this is the way it's always going to feel. It's amazing. It's the best. And yeah, maybe if you're a social media type of dude, maybe you'll post about them a lot in that time frame. But then there's a period of like, all right, you know, this is another human, and you know, we're gonna have conflict, and things are not always gonna be peachy creamy, and sometimes she's a bitch, and
Yep.
sometimes I'm a dick, and you know, I think that sort of stuff happens to everybody. And if you post on social media every day still like as if that's not happening, I think you're delusional or trying to convince everyone else that it is.
Right. Like it's like you're kind of like hiding.
I think it's a hiding thing.
You're hiding what's normal. Like it's a relationship without arguing and without a fight here and there, without disagreement and not being perfect.
Isn't a relationship.
Isn't a relationship, yeah.
If you guys don't ever disagree about nothing, then one of you don't have an opinion.
But on social media, it looks, some of these people are like, we're superstar relationships and
It's gross.
we're just perfect. From
It's gross.
the husband, the wife to 2 to 5 kids, everybody is just perfect.
It's gross. It's ridiculous.
But if I could think of anything, I mean, there's so many things. I told my wife this morning, I was like, you know, this is the route I think I'm going today. She goes, oh, well, that'll be endless. I was like, wait, what's that mean? I mean, I know I have some things that are not normal, but you seem like there's a list.
She knows
You
them.
wouldn't
She's
start
got a
writing
list.
things
Yeah.
down.
She's got a list.
But yeah, to go back to that, like I try not to hate people, but some people, they put out a stigma that it's like they want to be hated. So I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll fall into that. I don't like you. I hate your personality. So congratulations, you succeeded.
You succeeded, yeah. You know, I think sometimes people might prejudge me even because I have this I don't give a fuck sort of mentality.
Right.
And maybe they'll be like, well, I don't like that guy. And, you know, that's fine by me. If people don't like me, I don't really care. But I guess it's possible that I do come off sideways sometimes from some people. And maybe this is something that's not normal about me, is how little I care about what other people think about me. It's funny though, in the same breath, we were just talking about this recently, like, I don't love the idea of like being talked about behind my back. Like,
Right.
I don't love that idea. And I don't know why. Maybe that just feels like, I feel like if you're going to say something bad about me, just say it to me, right? Just tell it to me to my face. Or fuck off.
People that I want, that I hope like me, I hope are sitting there saying a bunch of different things that they don't like about me. If I
Yeah.
don't like, if it's a person I don't like, I sure the fuck hope you're sitting at home saying how big of an asshole.
Thinking about you.
Yeah, like I hope you
wasting
are.
their day
Because
thinking
I'm
about
wasting
you.
my time thinking about how much I
Yeah.
don't like you and you're the
Yeah.
way you are. Like,
yeah.
I hope they're not like, oh my gosh, he's such a pussy and friendly. I'm such an asshole to him. It feels so good. Like, they're like, wow, he's an asshole like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You only turned me into that way because you were the asshole first.
Yeah, that's true. I get that. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's people I want to like me, I think. There's people I want to like me. But
I
that
would-
list is small.
I would say when it comes to people who have really taken the blunt that work at places that have to deal with me.
What do you mean?
If I call about a product, or if I call about my cable, or if the ticket rep.
Mm-hmm. Those
Like-
people get the worst of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's normal. You're put in a position where
Are you Karen?
I don't know if I'm that far.
I
but
can be a little Karen-y sometimes.
I mean, you're gonna know if I go through McDonald's and I get 3 meals, and one of them is fucked up. You're gonna know because somebody would tell me at my work if I wasn't doing something right, And if you didn't do something right for clients, they're going to tell you.
Oh yeah, I mean
Like,
yeah.
if a meal says I get a large French fry, a hamburger, and a drink, and I get a medium fry, or you forget that I didn't want cheese, like, it's all there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just using something as like basic.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm with you with the cable guys and with all that stuff. I'm with you. Phone reps, whatever.
if anything involves money and it's not right, you're gonna hear from me because I want what I pay for.
Yeah. I remember I bought a Dyson vacuum and it was like weeks later it just stopped working and wouldn't charge, wouldn't turn on, nothing. And I called and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, you never registered the product, so we can't honor the year warranty." And I was like, "What do you mean? I just bought it." He was like, "Well, do you have your receipt?" I was like, "No, I don't have my fucking receipt. Who keeps the receipt?" I was like, "I got something on my credit card statement that shows that I spent some money at Home Depot." He's like, "No, I
Right.
need a receipt." He was like, "Because it's been on the shelf. It was manufactured more than a year ago. And so the year warranty starts from the date of manufacture unless you register the fucking product." And I was like, "That's some big bullshit. I bought this thing a couple weeks ago. Like, I'm not taking that." And I was like, I went super Karen on him. I went to the point of like, I'm gonna call the fucking district attorney's office. I'm gonna file something with the Better Business Bureau. I did all.
That's my favorite
I
thing
did
is
all at
like
once.
Better Business Bureau. I'm
Yeah.
calling them after this. What's your
I'm,
name?
I'm calling everybody, bro. And let me speak to your manager's manager. And they ended up shipping me a new thing and took care of it. But it was like after a ton of bitching and moaning.
Well, what stops them from if they produce a product and they don't even let it go out till 6 months later? So then it could be on the shelves for 6 months, and then they'd be like, "Oh well."
Everything that we
Yeah.
sent to Home Depot this week is out of warranty.
Right.
Yeah.
I try my best small businesses. I'm not like that as much with small businesses.
Sure.
If there's a local pizza shop and they make a mistake,
I
I'm gonna
don't
call.
I don't even call.
If I do, I'm gonna be friendly.
Yeah.
When it comes to franchises, when it comes to big businesses, you're gonna hear all kinds of
Yeah.
shit from me. But mom and pop's places, you make mistakes. You're trying to make a living.
It depends on the
Like-
severity of the issue and how much it impacts me. Like, okay, if I get like last time I ordered pizza, I ordered 2 pizzas, one way, one the other. And they gave me 2 pizzas, both the same way, with both toppings. I was like, yeah, well,
Right.
fuck it. Right? I mean, my life's not ruined.
Right.
It didn't cost me any more, whatever. But like, yeah, if I go somewhere and it makes something like unedible or, I didn't get everything I ordered. Oh, that gets me. Like I order something and then I don't get everything.
Right.
I'm right there.
I mean, we're trying to check. If we go somewhere fast food, we try to check before we leave.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times that you can't trust it.
No.
You can't get that bag of food and say, "All right, I'm going to go home. I trust they put everything in there." One time I went to Taco Bell and I put on the mobile app, like I wanted like 10 mild, 10 hot, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's Taco Bell. Like everything's in there. How can you fuck up a Taco Bell?
Yeah.
And then I got home and there was no sauce.
No sauce. Oh.
Like I
Taco Bell
called
without the
and
sauce.
ripped them. I was like, there's no way. Like I just got like 9 tacos and I gotta sit here without any sauce.
Just think of my mouth.
Right. Like
It's
that's
dry.
your number one thing.
Yeah.
You offer different sauces for your tacos. I don't really like eating plain tacos from Taco Bell.
yeah. It's the sauce. You know what got me the other day? I feel like if you deliver things for a living, whether it be Grubhub, Uber Eats, or if you're a FedEx guy, Amazon guy, if your job is to deliver things to people's door, you should be good at that. And there's not a lot of things to be good at. You might think, where's the skill in it? But, for example, you should know that screen doors open outward.
Right.
And inside doors open in. And so if you put a
I know where this is
drink
going.
right in front of the fucking door, the screen door, if you put a drink in front of the screen door, you should know that I can't fucking open the door without spilling the drink. Or a better one, literally happened yesterday. Guy delivered something and put the bag around the handle of the screen door. And so when I turn the fucking handle,
It just
the bag
slides off.
falls to the ground. Guy, your job is to deliver things. Just put it somewhere away from the door.
Right. That's a good point.
My wife would get mad because, you know, I think she feels like people who work in lower skill jobs or entry level jobs or tough jobs, physical jobs, you shouldn't say anything because they got it bad enough. I just don't feel that way. I don't care.
I mean,
It's like if you've signed up to be a delivery person, you could do anything. You signed up to be a delivery person, be good at your job.
Right.
Even when I had shitty jobs, I tried to be good at them.
yeah, I agree. Same.
You know,
Same here.
I sold fucking TVs at Best Buy, but I treated it like I was a salesman selling, you know, $1 million cars. Like, I tried to be the best I could.
That's the only way you can enjoy the job too.
Otherwise, what are you there for? Yeah, you're just
Right.
checking in, checking out.
I worked at Finish Line for 3 or 4 years, and I put everything into it. Like, I would,
Research new shit before it came out.
yeah, I would I want to know the product. I want to know if it's comfortable. I want to explain to you, like, is this shoe worth the
Right.
value? Kids would come in, and I found a way to like lace shoes a different way, and people would come in and be like, "Oh, you're the one that like laces shoes." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," like I wanted, like I just didn't show up there to be a body
Yeah,
at
gave it.
like a place. Like
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be good. One thing I can't stand is negative criticism from people. I love criticism. Like I do love if you could tell me a certain way I could do things better.
Yeah.
If you say, "Hey Josh, you know what you did was good, but if you maybe did this different, it could be better." Now somebody that comes to me and says, "Hey, that's good your way, but this is the way I do it, and it's a lot better." I feel like that's a negative. I fucking hate negative criticism.
Well, being like, hey, yours sucks. This
Right.
is, yeah.
Just because you might be higher up than me and you might do it a different way doesn't mean my way's a bad way. It's just not your way, and that pisses me off.
Yeah, yeah. I think corporate life was a lot like that. Like Best Buy was a lot like that because they would, from a corporate level, come up with a new strategy or plan, and then everyone would have to comply.
Right.
So, for example, one of them was they came up with the 180 pass by. Did I ever tell you about the 180 pass by? This is an hilarious technique, sales technique. They'd say you walk past someone behind them or in front of them, and then as you get beyond them, you do a 180. You look back and you go, "Oh, can I help you out with anything?" Because I guess apparently psychology said like people were less threatened when you were straight up facing them.
Right.
Right? So they did this from behind sort of deal. "Oh, you need anything?" And it was kind of like a, "Oh, by the way." And apparently it made people feel, you know, more receptive to getting help or talking to a rep.
So it's better than somebody walking straight up to you and saying, "Hey, what are you looking for? How can I help you?" Unless somebody walks by
I
and
just
sees
kept
you
doing
like,
it
"Hey,"
my way.
like,
I hated it. I hated the 180 pass by, bro. I had a way of approaching people that was friendly and that still brought down their guard. That just wasn't that, and they didn't like that I had my own way.
one job that has always stuck out to me, I think is the most gruesome, shadiest, fucked up. You have to be absolutely so mentally, like you have to be trying to mess with people's minds the whole time as a car salesman
I thought you were gonna say gynecologist.
or gynecologist. That's a different kind of one too.
Yeah.
But I think as a car salesman, like no matter what kind of personality you have,
Yeah.
you're going to turn into a shyster.
I think it's like the mentality of that sort of sales. It's interesting because there's a lot of commission sales out there. Like, I mean, realtors kind of can be weird and greasy and like a sales rep, like a car salesman.
That's true.
But
That
not
is
all of
true.
them are. There's a lot of realtors I like that are like charismatic, nice, normal people, and they're honest with you. So it's not like all commission salespeople are like that, but
Could you sit, like this is my thing, can you sit with people that are across from you, a family, say a husband and wife comes in and they got like 2 little kids with them and they're sitting there, you can hear the conversations and they're like, "Wow, you know, Tim, this is really going to be pushing our budget if we go to $600 a month on a car payment. We agreed to 4. And he's like, yeah. And then I'm sitting there like, I don't give a fuck about them and their life. Like, I'm trying to sell this car. Oh, you can do it. Like, what if we knocked another $10? Like, I cannot sit there and coax somebody into doing something when I know it's not a good decision for them just from hearing your conversation.
You know, I think in sales I've learned to create win-wins. I know it sounds stupid, but there's a lot of people out there who are okay with and actually seek in business negotiation to get a win-lose. They want to win, and they only win if you lose. And I don't like those people. I don't like dealing with those people. I think car salesmen can be like that. Like, they feel like in order to win, you have to lose. I think there is a scenario though where both people win. Like, there are people whose budget is $800. Go sell them the $800 a month car.
Right.
You know, the family who's not in that budget, don't sell them that car. Easy peasy. I mean, I think you can create win-wins. That's what I try to go for.
I mean, I would feel terrible too. There's so many young kids and uneducated in those areas that they might not have their parents or a family member trying to help them, and they go buy a used car for the first time. They're walking out there with 14 or 16% interest
On a piece of shit, like,
like I could
10-year-old car.
And I would say more than likely, throwing a number out there, 80%. You're, as a salesperson, you're working this job to make a living, and you're not going to be a parent to these kids and say, "Man,
No,
this is not a good deal for
not
you."
a good deal. Yeah.
And it's sad that those kids walk out there. And I know I've talked to parents before that their kids are kind of like, they leave them on their own and they're coming home with 14, 16, 18% used cars on a $5,000 car. They end up paying $10,000 for when the piece of shit breaks down before they get a year of use out
Before
of
they
it.
pay it off, yeah. Yeah, it's rough, dude. You know, I think at Best Buy they made us push these credit cards, and like, you know, like every retail place, they got a credit card. In reality, the credit card was good for some people because they always offered no interest for long periods of
Best
time.
Buy is like one of the first places I ever noticed that where it's like a no interest type thing.
Yeah, like they did often a 3-year no interest, 36 months no interest. So you could buy, you know, TV and pay it off. But the problem was, and I realize it's now more than I did then, but in 3 years that TV wasn't worth what you were paying for it every fucking month.
Right.
So, like, for the people who really used it because they needed 3 years to pay it off, probably shouldn't have got that TV and probably shouldn't have got it on a credit card. But
Best Buy was good for if you're moving out. I think as
yeah,
say
you're
you're
strapped
moving out
right
to
down.
your home
The
place,
next few months are going to be tight.
and you want a TV for your living room and a TV
Fact.
for your bedroom, or
No problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
they
need
they
new
made it
computer, whatever.
right. They made moving more affordable at that time to have the things you need.
Yeah. You need new appliances. It's a lot to pay for all at once. There
Right.
you go.
I think that was very good on their end that they.
Smart.
I mean, years Best Buy has done no interest.
Yeah. No, I think it's good, but you know, not everybody knows how to use a credit card either.
That's true.
So, like, if you miss one of those no interest payments, it becomes an interest-based card.
Oh, when I get like
It's
a
not
no
no payments.
like I'm like, okay, what day exactly do I need to make sure that I'm making this last payment?
I have all my credit cards as calendar reminders. So, like, what day they're due and what day I'm going to pay them on.
Mhm.
It's just because I don't, you know, like I said, I haven't incurred a single interest charge.
Yeah, because I mean they're different too if you don't read about them, because there's some credit cards if you're late or you miss one, you'll get charged the interest based off of what you owe right now. So if you owe $3,500, you might get charged that. But I've read there's some that will actually, if you put $10,000 on it at the beginning and you have it down to $3,500 and you miss that one payment, that you carries back to the original $10,000 you put on it.
What?
Yeah, there's some
That's
out there
fucking
like
wild,
that.
bro. Yeah, I mean, I use credit cards mostly because of the rewards and stuff.
Yeah, the rewards are nice.
Like, from the business end, I can put, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on a business credit card every month and get, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of free shit.
I think there is definitely some benefactors to it for people that pay it on time. I think it works for people like us that get them, that we are stronghold on knowing that we're going to make the payments and pay them off.
Yeah.
And I think we benefit from them, but I'm going to say that percentage is very high of who they're really going after, and that's people that can't pay them.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's people who fuck it up.
Like we're like on the end that they don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
So to end this conversation, if you had to, and maybe you're not, this is where we're different. If you had to choose one thing about yourself that you would try to do better or change, is there anything at all?
Pass. All right. Let's see.
I mean,
think,
anything that we had a conversation about that maybe you acknowledge that.
you know what? I think I can be an 80%er. And what I mean by that is I'm good at getting something started. I'm good at doing a lot of it. And then near the end, I'm really good at quitting. So like my college degree, when I was younger, I went to college. I went to college during high school. I had almost an associate's degree by the time I graduated high school. I kept going to college, and I quit right before I was ready to get my bachelor's.
So you made it towards the end.
Made it to the end, and then I gave up. And there's a lot of things in my life where I've done it. Now, like not everything, like my job, my work, I've owned my business now for 12 years and actually 13 in February, and I don't give up. But yeah, a lot of things I can be 80% on.
And that's the nice thing, though. I mean, when it comes to something important like that, and something that you live off of, you are 100%er.
It's because if I don't care about it anymore, I don't care to just complete it for the sake of completing it.
Right.
So like school, I realized I don't need this, I don't like it, I don't want to do it, I hate it, and I stopped. But I think there's, it would probably benefit me to have a little more perseverance and see things through. What about you?
I think that one thing that sticks out that I've been trying to do better on is I can't just look at things that bother me as me in a bubble. We have a friend, and she won't care at all that I bring this up, and because we're very similar in the same way, we hang out a lot. And sometimes I let things bother me. Like I like to sit on the end of the aisle at the movies. It's just something with me. I like to sit on the end. She also likes to sit on the end. So.
Do you guys do 2 rows?
No.
You should.
We do one, but
You should do 2 rows.
we
next
should
time.
do 2 rows.
Then you both get what you want.
That's very true. Very good
And you
point.
can pass the popcorn like that.
But sometimes I let things like that with people really bother me, and I'm trying not to let things bother me. Like, is it better if I'm on the other end and I'm changing myself or my OCD and my on the spectrum type ways? Like, let somebody else. I have a hard time letting somebody else have that decision making and things like that.
Yeah.
And like, truly, why do I give a fuck? It's just because the fact that I feel like somebody has power over me and what I want to do, because you want to do it too.
I'm with you on that. I think if somebody when people exert the power or to create demands for me, I do have trouble.
Right.
I have trouble, which is why I'm self-employed. I'm sick of people telling me what to do.
That's true.
And I think that could be a good thing, but it also could be a bad thing, because in life there's times when people are going to tell you what to do. The stewardess on the plane is going to tell you what to do.
Right.
And you just got to fucking do it, otherwise they take you to your chair.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part where we talked earlier, where if you're upset about something and you really unleash yourself because you're paying for, when it comes to flights, you can't.
You can't fuck around.
No.
The moment you walk into the airport to the moment you leave the airport, you
gotta be a good boy.
Be a good boy. Yeah.
If they fucking chuck your luggage against the wall and shit falls out,
Oh yeah.
thank you. Make sure, can you pick that up? I'll be going to get on my flight.
Yeah.
Because they have no problem. I hate situations where they have no problem. They have so many people that they can be like, fuck off.
You're just
banned.
a number. Yeah.
You're banned. Like,
Yeah.
we don't care. And no matter if you sit there, you cry, you whine.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I've watched with cops, where cops will try to give people so many chances. Like, get up, you're under arrest, and they'll whine and they'll cry, and then finally they're like, "Why are you treating me like this? Here, I'm getting." No, you already had your chance.
Yeah.
Like there's points in life, and there's situations in life where
You
it
just have
doesn't
to-
matter
you
what
just have
kind
to
of
listen.
attitude or who you think you are.
You just gotta comply.
comply and listen.
Yeah, I think I have trouble with that. Maybe we both need to relinquish a little of our need for control this year.
Right.
That's a good idea.
That's why I just want to be more free with what. That's anymore. If there's 4 or 5 of us that are going out to eat anymore, I'm like, hey, I don't like this place and I don't like this place. Wherever else, I'm good with. Just don't do these 2 places, because nothing pisses me off more than somebody saying, hey, where do you want to go eat? And I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, I just don't like Panera or Chipotle.
You don't like Chipotle?
No.
What is wrong with you?
This is what everybody says. No, I didn't. Like, we're having a Chipotle built right up the street.
What's
like,
wrong with you?
And I'm like, oh, big deal. It's Chipotle. And get
Why don't you like Chipotle?
salmonella.
That was in 2008.
I don't know. There's something about Chipotle I don't like. I think their chips are too salty. And once
chips
I
are real salty.
once I get something in my head, I'm like, fuck that place. But everybody's like, you don't like Chipotle? I'm like, no.
Bro.
I didn't like Chick-fil-A for a while, but now I'm okay with Chick-fil-A.
If you go to Chipotle next time, go bowl, get a bunch of shit, mix it up real good, make sure your sour cream's in there. You're gonna love it. It's great.
I mean, now that it's going to be right up the street, I might try it and be more open to that this year to
There
try
you go.
Chipotle.
One of the goals this year: try Chipotle.
But my thing is, if somebody is
Watch
forced,
you get diarrhea on that one.
yeah, then it's going to take one time. I'm going to be like, I'm not even going to be mad. I'm going to be like, look, this is why I didn't want it. And
I
I'm
set a
gonna go back.
boundary. I went over it. I regret it.
But
Boundaries back up.
if somebody is forcing me to pick something,
Yeah.
and I finally give in and say, okay, I want to go to Outback tonight, or I want to go here, and they're like, I don't really feel like that. Why the fuck did you get me asked?
Why'd you ask me? Yeah.
Because I've done left it so open to you.
Yeah.
I don't want Panera. I don't want Chipotle. Anywhere else, I'm down. So it's easy peasy for you now.
That's true.
So don't ask me. And then sometimes our group gets like frustrated. Like, well, he doesn't care. He won't pick. Like, why? Because I don't give a shit. I told you my 2 places I did not want to go.
Everywhere else is fine.
Everywhere else, because it's just going to tick me off more if I say something and you say you don't feel like that tonight.
Mm.
So it's the same. I try to be very easy with my wife too. Like if we're picking food out, like I don't want this, I don't want this. Anything else, I'm good to go.
What do you want for dinner tonight?
Well, if my OCD kicks in, usually on Sunday evenings we do pizza.
Yeah, we had pizza too many times this week.
But recently I went to somebody's house and they had pizza. So
I might fuck it up for you. I think
you might have ruined it.
I think I still have that pizza in my fridge. It's gotta go. But yeah, I'm ready for some Chipotle. I think now after this conversation.
No.
You know what's really great for a kid's meal? Chipotle is to make your own. They give you little blank tacos, beans, rice, da 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 da. The kids get to put it together and eat it, and they love it.
I'm good. My wife can take my daughter there and they can bring me something else home.
Bro,
I can't.
relinquish control.
I didn't know you like Chipotle too.
Chipotle's good.
Yeah, it is.
My wife hates it
Does she?
because of salmonella.
Ah, see?
That's why I know it hasn't been like this hasn't been a problem since for 10 years, 12 years or something. But yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah, same thing. It's
All right.
been, all right. It's
Well-
been real. Catch you later.
We said what we
Hey, look.
is good about being honest to yourself. Wow, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
We were trying to time this out and we're getting better at it.